Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and the article is now officially out from Bloomberg. I will leave it in the description down below so you guys could check it out. T-Mobile seeks fiber optic venture aimed at home internet. So I'm confused by this, and many are confused by this. The market is confused by this, but I'm not surprised. And let me tell you why. So you guys have heard me say in several other videos that I think at some point T-Mobile is going to need fiber, right? Owner economics, fiber to the cell site, it makes sense. I just don't think right now they are in a position to invest in such an enormous capital that's needed for this, right? They would have to go into the 17, 18, 19, $20 billion capex range to be able to split off. Okay, say we're going to invest this amount for fiber to the cell and still maintain our network. They're just not in a position to do so. They're not. And that's why I think right now the millimeter wave story hasn't been heating up at T-Mobile, because they're not in a position to invest in a larger amount. So I'm skeptical about this because this is going to require an enormous investment. So right now, I'm going to be very skeptical on how T-Mobile approaches this. I'm seeing a amount of $4 billion, which is a very small amount when you consider the amount that's going to be needed to invest into this to get it to scale. So I think it's going to be small at first and grow bigger. If we're looking at a similar type of investment that AT&T is making, they're already saying they're going to venture off and they're going to put 10 to 15 billion into it. But that's on top of all the billions that AT&T has already invested over the years. So, of course, AT&T is at a bigger scale, but T-Mobile is barely starting off in this. So what I think happened is T-Mobile really liked what they saw when during the beta of T-Fiber, right? T-Fiber NYC, they started it up. They're new to fiber, right? They haven't operated or owned any fiber as a company, so they don't know what it takes, right? They've been leasing everything. And even that model, the T-Fiber model, was leased. But they were able to run numbers. They were able to see what it's like running an actual fiber, right? Being a fiber company. They saw what it's like. And what I think happened, and the reason that they're shifting and contradicting themselves so much, they really liked what they saw. I really think that's what it comes down to. They really saw the numbers panned out. They said, okay, if we're going to invest this amount or have to invest this amount into more macros, more small cells with millimeter wave, we might as well skip 5G and go straight to fiber. It's a possibility that they internally decided that. Again, right now, I'm still speculating because T-Mobile hasn't gotten out in front of this and clarified it publicly. And we may have to wait for them to clarify it publicly until another conference. And there will be one soon where an analyst is going to ask, hey, what's this about this fiber venture? Well, we're going to need clarity. So right now, I'm speculating. You guys will be speculating. All we know is that T-Mobile is seeking a fiber optic venture aimed for home internet, but we don't know much else about it. They might be wanting to do a hybrid model, right? Some fixed wireless access, some fiber optic. Maybe in the more denser, packed urban cores, they're going to choose fiber. It just depends, right? But I still think a large part of the reason why they chose this now is because they saw what they like. They saw the numbers and they liked them on running that beta on T-Fiber. And they know for future growth beyond 2025 that spectrum is going to run thin, right? For them to continue growing outside of that 10 million that they're projecting to grow by 2026. In order for them to present a business case of further growing, they're going to need fiber. It's going to be very hard to open up the pipelines even more on the wireless network for the type of usage that they could be enduring in 2026, right? 4K will be more mainstream. 8K will come in. More gaming systems, more And then by that time, we'll have more 5G use cases. It's going to be tough. And it's been said already. The math has been done. It's proven that running home broadband on a wireless network is a different type of animal. It is. It's a different type of animal. It's a different type of usage. Like the numbers were said, it's like an equivalent of adding 100 million postpaid customers. It's insane usage, right? Or another way to look at it as well, it could be that T-Mobile just doesn't want to embrace the grind. They don't want to invest what it's going to take to invest to get the network to scale the millimeter wave, like Verizon has been doing. Verizon has been embracing that grind since 2017. They knew it would take a substantial millimeter wave build out to support the fixed wireless access numbers that they wanted to post. And that's why I've always said and maintained the opinion, Verizon is building a fixed wireless access network. T-Mobile is just, they're not building, they're only allowing the use of extra capacity. And even that wasn't going to work. Even the people that they have on the network today that they've allowed to use the fixed wireless access product, their usage is going to keep growing over the next several years. So even though they've closed off that neighborhood, like say, hey, we have the amount of customers that we're going to allow on the sector, and they closed it off, that usage of those people is still going to continue growing over the next several years. So there was just no way possible that they could have maintained saying, hey, oh, we don't believe in fiber, we don't need it. All the enterprise users that are on wireline, they can go wireless, it's fine. So T-Mobile is completely backtracking here and contradicting themselves once again. So I'll close out the video with my final thoughts. I just am skeptical of this because this is going to require an enormous investment, right? I mean, they can start it off with the $4 billion, but we all know, I mean, most of you that have been on the channel for a long time, you know, this is going to require upwards of $100 billion to get this to scale. I mean, the only company so far that has stuck with it is AT&T. Everyone else has kind of dropped out. Google Fiber dropped out early on. They're starting to come back in, but they dropped out, right? Verizon wanted to do the nationwide thing. They sold it off to Frontier. They said, no, we're going to sell this. This is too expensive, too much of a mess. The only company that has been faithful and has invested in that fiber has been AT&T. And they will be the ones to tell you this is not an easy task. This is going to require a lot of money. And the $4 billion that's being shown for the investment is not going to be enough. They're going to have to invest more. So $4 billion is a start, right? It's a start, a small start at that. And in order for them to continue scaling, it's going to have to be billions and billions and billions. So I'm skeptical on that, right? And T-Mobile has been known to start stuff and not finish it, right? Look at T-Vision, the TV, right? They started that. They wanted to get in that big, and they kind of got out very quickly. So, my take, I'm skeptical. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know they need it, but they, as a company, are in no position to really invest that much. They're going to have to keep raising capital to continue investing in this. They are in no position right now financially to go to 16, 17, 18, 19 billion. If they go that high for 1 year, let's just say, on the capital expense, they're gonna operate at a net loss. So they are in no position to invest a big amount into this fiber thing. Or can they do it small? Can they scale little by little? Sure, they can do that. They can partner up with somebody and tell them, hey, you build this out for me and then I'll lease it back from you. They can do that, right? They could tell AT&T, for example, they could say AT&T, hey, you build out this fiber, I'll pay you at this apartment complex, and then I'll lease it back from you. They could say that. Or, whoever else does it, Spectrum, Google Fiber, they could partner with them and say, hey, look, build out fiber for me here. I'll pay you this amount and I'll lease it back from you. They could say that. So we don't know if this is going to be a lease or if T-Mobile is actually going to buy the company or the fiber. So we'll see what happens. Again, this is very, very early on. We'll still need some clarity from T-Mobile on this. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel. Leave all your thoughts in the comment sections down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.